So far in Digimon Seekers, we met Eiji and his Digimon Loogamon. We learned about mind linking, a way for humans to enter the outer wall of the digital world connected to their Digimon partners. But we also learned about the dangers this technique poses for both. When a human exceeds the mind link limit, their consciousness can remain forever trapped in their Digimon's Digicore in the digital world, while their physical body remains in the human world in a coma. Under Professor Yusenji's secret assignment, Eiji and Loogamon successfully infiltrated the Sons of Chaos organization, and Loogamon evolved into Loogarmon. Who will Loogamon evolve into next? What major task will Eiji have to do to prove himself to the Sons of Chaos leader Tartaros? And whose surprise appearance will change Eiji's life forever? Find out in this video. WWW Airlines Flight 626 was cruising at the altitude of 30,000 feet, carrying over 300 people, when suddenly it deviated from its course and disappeared from the radar. The authorities confirmed that the plane crashed into the ocean, but neither the plane nor its flight recorder were ever recovered. Several months after the accident, a piece of the plane washed ashore, thousands of kilometers away from the alleged crash site, but not a single body was found. This was the plane Eiji saw in his first holographic experience of the digital world in Professor Yusenji's lab. The plane was deliberately crashed in a terrorist act by a code cracker who used Digimon as AI. This information was known by the authorities, but it wasn't shared to the public. The world was still unaware of the existence of Digimon. In an apartment above Denrin district, Leon Alexander woke up from yet another nightmare about the plane accident. His Digimon partner Pulsemon was by his side, worried. He suggested Leon should stay in bed and get more sleep, but Leon wanted to get on with his day. He has online classes, and he promised his father he would graduate and get a job, even though he practically had one at Aberdeen Electronics. On the 9th Avenue in Wall Slum, Eiji and Loogamon were still at the Castle of the Nine Wolves. Loogamon wasn't too concerned about whether he had his memories back or not. He wonders why Eiji thinks those memories are that important. Do humans remember everything and cling to their memories? Eiji understands his point and says he would rather forget some memories from his school years. 3 Tyrannomon appear, bringing Loogamon data they gathered about the 9th Avenue area and its inhabitants. Eiji is surprised to see how Loogamon turned his Tyrannomon into his minion so easily, when Loogamon suggests Eiji could be his 4th minion. Loogamon entrusted the 3 Tyrannomon to guard the area while he's not there, in case someone tries to invade his territory. A sharp siren sound pierced the air, making the Digimon flee from the castle plaza in panic. The siren was coming from the Digimon on the watchtower. There was a whirlpool above their heads, on the surface of the vast net ocean. It looked like a drain plug pulled from a massive bathtub. The vortex was coming from a hole in the digital world's security. They are like natural disasters that appear without a warning. The current carries all the garbage data that Wall Slum cannot contain, forming a floating island of refuse, suspected to cause turbulence. Most turbulences are short-lived, but some can obliterate entire districts and all the Digimon who live there. As Loogamon says this, an immense roar fills the air as the vortex tears up a section of Wall Slum before dying down. Eiji wonders if this vortex is a hole in the security of the digital world, could it be used as a gate, but Loogamon refutes his theory. Even if a human managed to enter the vortex, they would never leave it alive. The digital world's system administrator would never allow an intruder from the real world to enter. Loogamon reminds Eiji that they have to go, since they can't overstep the mind link limit, and also Eiji has a meeting with Professor Yusenji. Professor is very pleased by Eiji and Loogamon's achievements. Eiji thinks they did everything thanks to Professor's device, but Professor says it takes more than just a device to do it. The two share a special connection. Eiji was feeling dizzy from mind linking, but Professor assured him he would grow accustomed to it with time, just like an astronaut returning to Earth has to adjust to gravity. Eiji reported to Professor about his Sons of Chaos infiltration and everything about Loogamon and the 9th Avenue. Yusenji said he knew about Loogamon's status and the Castle of the Nine Wolves, since DDL collected Loogamon from that place to keep him safe. Eiji wanted to hear more of that story, but Professor says it is classified. Professor says that research on Loogamon shows that he has errors in his memory, and as he recovers it, he will have moments of mental distress. He wants Eiji to be there for Loogamon when that happens. Eiji promises to do so, looking gently at Loogamon curled on the sofa, and realizing Professor also cares deeply for his Digimon partner. Professor wants to keep working with Eiji and Loogamon to change life for the better, describing their relationship as partners. The word partner really hits a chord in Eiji's heart. He feels like he and Loogamon partnered to help each other navigate the digital world, and he will do whatever it takes to make Loogamon feel the same way about him. Professor gives Eiji a paycheck bonus, and he feels great being financially stable at last. Eiji also informs Professor that he has a meeting today with one of the members of the Sons of Chaos. His name is Marvin, one of the lead developers of the Grim app and one of the leading software engineers in the world. To help Eiji prepare for his meeting, Professor showed him a classified file that will be a matter of life and death to Eiji. The file was titled D4 Classified ML Experiment. ML stood for Mind Link. It was a video from a ceiling camera showing a person dressed in a special suit sitting in a chair connected with cords. It wasn't clear whether it was a man or a woman. They had a helmet on the head covered in sensors and included an augmented reality headset on the eyes. Professor explained this is a hacker who worked for the lab and still holds the record for most hours mind-linked. All of a sudden, the hacker started convulsing wildly like being electrocuted. Medical staff came rushing in, shouting and screaming, trying to hold the hacker still. A few moments later, the hacker went limp and motionless. Eiji wanted to know what happened, and Professor replied that the hacker went DMIA, digitally missing in action. They exceeded the limit for mind linking. Their mind is now forever trapped in the digital world, and their body remains in the experiment room, an empty shell. But when a hacker goes DMIA outside the lab, their body is usually not discovered in time and they die. Professor doesn't know a single hacker who returned after going DMIA, not even their Digimon partner can be found. The length of the mind link limit depends on the hacker or code cracker's individual level of training and physical condition, as well as their compatibility with their Digimon partner and evolution stage. For a child-level Digimon like Loogamon, the countdown is quite slow, but as Loogamon evolves to adult level and beyond, the countdown ticks away much faster. To implement safety, Professor set another line before the L line, the K line meaning keep clear. Eiji was back at his loft browsing through Grim. The Sons of Chaos channel was filled with messages about how he overpowered the Digipolice at Wall Slum. He himself spread the rumor with fake accounts to give himself a better start with other members. While Eiji was in his loft, Loogamon was actually in the digital space of the Grim Sons of Chaos channel, being on steel poles to mark the territory when a black man with dreads appeared. He was accompanied by a Digimon who looked like a dragon from Eastern mythology, a serpent with no arms or legs but large wings. Airdramon, adult-level mythical beast-type vaccine species. The man introduced himself as Marvin from the Sons of Chaos. He was kind and friendly, yet careful and suspicious. He found it weird how a new member who joined just yesterday turns out to be a hotshot code cracker who embarrassed the police. He told Eiji to follow him. They entered a private chat room with the same cyberpunk aesthetic as the rest of the group's channel. Eiji asked Marvin about the rumors that he was one of the engineers of Grim and executives of Sons of Chaos. Marvin explained how there are no official positions in the Sons of Chaos, and as for creating Grim, he just contributed a few lines of code. Marvin admired Eiji's relationship with Loogamon. When Marvin tossed a bone-shaped data treat, the usually grumpy Loogamon suddenly turned into a dog, running to fetch the treat. Eiji was a bit jealous, as Loogamon never behaves that way with him. Marvin said the organization is planning something big, but they don't have the numbers to pull it off. While they do have a lot of members, not a lot of them can mind link. The code name of their plan was Operation Infinity. Tartaros himself planned it. Marvin gave Eiji access to the chat room where they will discuss the operation and share files. The members plan to assemble there the following day to discuss details. Marvin also offered to give Eiji money for whatever he needs. As they were leaving, he asked Eiji if he knew anything about the Black Agumon. It turns out the 100 million DC reward for catching him was posted by Tartaros. Marvin says Tartaros is obsessed with this Digimon and that kind of reward money is just pocket change for them. All 8 Sons of Chaos executive members set to participate in Operation Infinity were gathered in Marvin's private room. All of them appeared as their avatars with no Digimon. In the beginning of the meeting, it was revealed that the infamous large-scale operation will take place overseas and involves hacking into the server of a well-known foreign nation. The nation of X has the lowest GDP but is a notorious state sponsor of terrorism. Marvin gave a long explanation how Nation X poses a threat to Sons of Chaos because of their cryptocurrency business. Much of this explanation flew right over Eiji's head, but he managed to understand that the reason why world governments stood in opposition to code crack teams was due to who held rights over the digital world. Simply put, there was money to be made. This was the very reason why Eiji became a code cracker in the first place. But the main reason the Sons of Chaos wanted to target Nation X is because they are using their ultimate level Digimon Mugindramon for Digimon crimes and cyber terrorism and pinning the blame on the Sons of Chaos. Suddenly, a man's voice interrupted the meeting. He introduced himself as the leader of the Sons of Chaos, Tartaros. Eiji finally got to meet him, or at least hear his voice. He explained that the main objective of the mission is to reach X-Nation's data server and render it useless, then capture their state-secret Digimon Mugindramon. A state-secret Digimon was a term for powerful Digimon who were capable of penetrating national security. It also meant that this Digimon had extremely solid defenses against outside attacks. The members then mind-linked with their Digimon and transferred from Marvin's room to the coordinates of the operation's next step. After the meeting, Eiji called Professor Iseni to report back. There was a theory that Tartaros was a researcher trying to enter the digital world. Even Marvin says his leader is no ordinary code cracker. Tartaros keeps on challenging the digital world continuously, as though always looking for something. Definitely not money or fame, since they already have that. Eiji and Marvin were mind-linked to Loogamon and Airdramon on their secret Sons of Chaos mission. The two were key players for the success of the operation. Other members were engaged in cyber attacks on X-Nation's server. There was also a separate team trying to infiltrate the server, serving as a decoy for Eiji and Marvin. There was a small turbulence near Wall Slum, and Eiji wanted to get more information from Marvin about his theory that they could be used as gates to the digital world, but Marvin says he doesn't know any code cracker who succeeded in that. But there is a rumor that one elite code cracker attempted it and went DMIA. It is said that whoever enters the vortex will catch a glimpse of the digital world's system administrator and die. They rose up towards the surface of the net ocean, where real-world servers floated on the surface, one of them being the X-Nation server, their target. The server was a statue in the image of their dictator. Loogamon and Airdramon broke the first line of server defense, and they came to a huge door 5 stories high. Eiji set his linker to decode mode, and the huge door swung open, revealing a vast darkness. Somewhere in the dark rose a low robotic roar, Mugendramon, ultimate level machine-type virus species. The X-Nation's state-secret Digimon. Described as the humanity's greatest foe, this Frankenstein monster was put together from the parts of various cyborg-type Digimon. His gleaming silver body looked like the contours of nature's most formidable carnivorous dinosaurs, and upon his shoulders rested massive double barrels of his infinity cannon. But Loogamon thought he is just a dog tied to a chain, and indeed his limbs and body were restrained by cuffs of code. Preparing for an attack, Airdramon began to glow with the light of evolution, growing larger and changing his appearance from a mythical creature into a cyborg. Megadramon, perfect level cyborg-type virus species. One of the strongest and most devastating Digimon among perfect level cyborg Digimon when it came to destructive power. He was a program built to destroy, a near-perfect computer virus that could easily infiltrate even the toughest network security and completely reformat the host computer on which it was installed. The reason Loogamon didn't evolve was because at child level his mind-link timer ran slower, so he could rescue the others if something went wrong. Megadramon released his attacks Ultimate Slicer and Genocide at Mugendramon's restraints when there was a sudden charge of electricity that blinded them. An ultimate level deity-type Digimon has entered the scene. From a cloud of flashing purple lightning emerged the personification of a thunder god, Kazuchimon. He held twin blades crackling with lightning. His clothes and robe wrapped around him like a belt made him look like the Japanese god of thunder, Takemi Kazuchi. Megadramon was motionless and spewing smoke. Something had cut through his body deeply. Eiji couldn't make contact with Marvin. If Digimon loses consciousness, while a human is mind-linking with them, the human's consciousness is unable to gain contact with either their Digimon partner or the outside world. Eiji was contacted by other members of the Sons of Chaos through voice chat. They couldn't believe someone was able to take Marvin down. They determined that the entire defense of the X-Nation server was taken down, and the Digipolice didn't have jurisdiction there, so Kazuchimon could only be with one person, Hacker Judge. Hackers shared the same opinion about code crackers as they didn't cooperate. Hackers were civilians who were self-governing and chased their own justice. Eiji heard a voice say to Mugendramon that he has committed too many crimes and needs to be punished. With a loud crackling, Kazuchimon summoned a number of small spheres made of pure electricity. They compressed electrical energy in high density, equivalent to the power consumption of an entire world. This fusion-grade power, strong as the core of a small sun, was shot out in a fraction of a nanosecond. In the attack, divine electricity summoned lightning. The attack was so fast no one could see it. When Eiji blinked, he saw a hole in Mugendramon's metal body. The perpetrator of so many Digimon crimes and terrorist acts was falling to pieces. Judge now turned his attention to Eiji and other code crackers, intending to cut them down. Eiji told the others to rescue Marvin while he and Loogamon distract Judge. Kazuchimon reverted back to Bautmon, perfect level humanoid beast-type vaccine species. Judge thought this form will be enough to take down the Sons of Chaos members. Judge had underestimated them as Loogamon evolved into Loogarmon and struck Bautmon with a speed and power they didn't anticipate. Eiji and Loogarmon's goal wasn't to defeat Bautmon and Judge, just to buy time to save Marvin, as everyone was approaching their mind-link limit, and Marvin was indeed saved. In his exchange of threats with Hacker Judge, Marvin mentioned Eiji's name and Judge's real name, Leon Alexander. As Bautmon reverted another level back to Pulsemon, Eiji put the pieces together. This hacker was his best friend from school, Leon, who showed him Pulsemon back when Eiji still didn't know anything about Digimon and the digital world. Leon recognized Eiji too. He couldn't believe he became a code cracker. The reunion of friends was soon interrupted by the X-Nation defense forces, who finally realized they were under attack. Marvin was recovering when he got a visit from the Sons of Chaos member who interviewed Eiji. His Digimon Dorumon was there too. The interviewer no longer had an avatar of an office worker with a handband tie. He was now a man with a scar above his left eye, Tartarus. The big war he was plotting could finally happen, now that the final pieces of the puzzle had fallen into place, Loogamon and AG. At Abedin Electronics lab, Leon and Pulsemon were back from the digital world after seemingly setting a new world record in mind linking. Professor Iseni was there, congratulating the duo for getting revenge on the criminal who took down Flight 626. Mugenjamon was behind the plane crash that killed more than 100 Americans. For Leon, it was not just an act of terrorism, but a humiliation to his hacking career because he failed to prevent it. Professor was proud that the little boy he gave a Digimon dock and Digi-Egg many years ago grew into such a capable young man. Leon was in elementary school back then, living in Japan for a few years, while his father worked as an assistant professor at Tokyo Deno University. Eiji, his best friend whom he knew through their parents, and whom he got along the closest with, was the only person to whom Leon secretly showed the Digimon Professor gave him. The two friends eventually drifted apart, as middle school exams kept them busy, and then the results sent them to different schools. Not long after, Leon's father had to move the family back to America. He kept contact with Professor through emails, and Professor often sent him tips how to best take care of Pulsemon. After a while, Leon returned to Japan and got into Tokyo Deno University to develop his hacker skills under Yusenji's guidance. Undercover, he worked for Professor and DDL as a hacker. After many years, the two friends were reunited. When Leon left Professor's lab, Eiji was waiting for him in the lobby. The two went for coffee and reminisced about the time they spent together in elementary school and how great it was to see each other again. Hololized Loogamon and Pulsemon were there too, exchanging smirky looks and not being too friendly. The real reason Leon wanted to meet Eiji was to convince him to stop being a code cracker, but Eiji said he has no other choice, he has to do it to make a living. Leon always thought Eiji would go to university like him, since they were both good students. Flight 626 changed Eiji's life and future plans. Leon got choked up just by hearing the flight's name. Eiji lost both his parents on that flight. They were going on a trip for their silver wedding anniversary to America, so Eiji wasn't with them. With the mortgage on the house, he had to sell it, and now there are rumors that it will be torn down. College was not even an option for him. "We'll live in different worlds now," he told Leon. Eiji stood up to leave because he had a meeting with Professor and told Leon he hopes the next time they meet it would be for a more cheerful occasion, like a birthday. Before they left, Pulsemon gave something to Loogamon as a present. The meeting with Professor was supposed to be about reporting on Eiji's adventures with the Sons of Chaos, but they ended up talking about Leon most of the time, before being interrupted by Professor's next meeting with Shu Yulin, the chief of the Digi-Police, who used to be Professor's student. Leaving Abedin Electronics, Eiji scored a date with Hatsune, thanks to Loogamon who asked her out. Hatsune agreed because she had something to discuss with Eiji and she gave him her Grim handle. Leon and Pulsemon arrived home. His apartment was completely connected to the network, so he could ask Pulsemon to research something and show it on the TV. This time he wanted to see the passenger list of Flight 626. Just as he expected, Eiji's parents were on the list as the only Japanese passengers. He reflected on Eiji being a code cracker and feared he would one day have to fight him. Unlike Pulsemon, who does research for Leon, when Eiji wakes up the next day and asks Loogamon if he has any new messages, Loogamon says he can check that himself. One new message was from Hatsune, but its contents disappointed him. She thought her boyfriend was cheating on her, so she wanted Eiji to hack his account. Loogamon saw it as a positive thing, because if he found out the boyfriend was indeed cheating, she would be single and Eiji could jump in to comfort her. There was another message, this one from Tartaros. He praised Eiji's performance and was happy to have him on his team. He had a personal request. Since Leon caused the Sons of Chaos operation to end in failure, they had to seek revenge, or else their reputation would suffer. Eiji was to defeat Leon. It would be the ultimate proof of his loyalty to Tartaros. Loogamon was also looking forward to fighting Pulsemon because he looked down on him and went on his nerves. The only problem was Pulsemon could evolve to the ultimate stage. Leon and Pulsemon were in Wall Slum, responding to a tip that Tartaros would be there when a flaming tongue grabbed Pulsemon's leg. It was Loogamon's howling fire attack. Eiji revealed he was the anonymous tipster who said Tartaros would be there. A bolt shot from Pulsemon's spike of hair made a hole in the ground just in front of Loogamon. Eiji said he was happy to see Leon again, but he crossed the line when he attacked the code crackers. All he had to do was apologize. While Eiji and Leon were arguing over whether Leon should apologize or Eiji stop being a code cracker, Loogamon and Pulsemon had already engaged in a physical fight. Soon enough they evolved to their adult forms and the battle was in full swing. Fire and lightning were crashing between the two of them. Eiji's Tyrannomon were also there, free from the mind link limit, ready to help him. Bautmon was no good against the crowd. He was outmatched unless he evolved. The ultimate thunder god Kazuchimon was back with a mighty roar. The Tyrannomon pushed their tails between their legs in fear. Eiji made them retreat. Kazuchimon lifted his hand and in an instant it appeared as time and space had been split open. An electromagnetic barrier touched down, cutting them off from the rest of the digital world. It worked as an electric fence. If they touched it, Eiji and Loogamon would be burnt to a crisp. Kazuchimon was about to unleash his divine electricity summoned lightning attack, the same he used to defeat Mugindramon, when Eiji shouted from the top of his lungs, calling Loogamon to evolve. This creature appeared to have no body at all. Blazing hellfire formed a shape around its skeleton. As soon as it evolved, it jumped on Kazuchimon and bit his neck. The demon beast virus-type Hell Loogamon was out of Eiji's control. The evolution had failed, causing Loogamon to go berserk. The mind link was still active, but Eiji couldn't communicate with his Digimon partner. His uncontrollable desire to defeat Leon caused this evolution. Eiji realized this and was sorry. He only wanted to prove to Professor Isenji that he was as good as Leon or even better, because those who have nothing need a dream that drives them through life. Their mind link limit was approaching when Kazuchimon managed to free himself from Hell Loogamon's grasp. Leon instructed him to deliver one more attack to stop Hell Loogamon. They had to leave the digital world soon if they were to avoid crossing the mind link limit, but before Kazuchimon could attack, a vortex tore through his electric shield and a royal knight appeared from the vortex. It was Omegamon. He was about to use his all delete attack on Hell Loogamon, but Kazuchimon stood up to defend his friend and dragged Omegamon into the depths of the vortex. Leon used the last of his mind link power to seal Omegamon with Kazuchimon's electric shield. Once they went through the vortex, Eiji was back in touch with Loogamon. Free from the freezing blast of Omegamon, he went into recovery mode and reverted to the child stage. Leon's consciousness was locked within Kazuchimon's Digicore as his mind link timer hit 0. There was nothing Eiji could do but tend to Loogamon's wounds. Several hours later, Leon was found unresponsive in his apartment. He was in a coma, officially digitally missing in action. Eiji contacted Professor to tell him what happened, but he didn't know Leon's address to send an ambulance. Eiji was back in his apartment, with anxiety and regret creeping up inside him. He wanted to evolve and win so bad that in the end he lost not only the battle, but his only friend as well. He got a message from Tartaros congratulating him on his victory, the final dagger to his heart. Eiji remembered that this was not the first time Leon saved his life. When they were kids, they played by a river, and Eiji got dragged into the deep water. He felt like something grabbed his leg. The current would have pulled him downstream if it hadn't been for Leon who grabbed his hand. Later, he heard another kid drowned at that same spot. Loogamon finally opened the present Pulsemon gave him when they were at the coffee shop. It was food Loogamon loved, with a message that said, "Let's meet again." Pulsemon wanted to be Loogamon's friend. Loogamon felt guilty and partially responsible for evolving into Hell Loogamon. He thought Pulsemon looked down on him and wanted to teach him a lesson. They remembered the deal they made to meet each other again on a happier occasion and maybe celebrate their 20th birthdays together. That would have been fun, Eiji thought. With his head over the toilet, constantly vomiting from emotional pain, while Loogamon chewed the food Pulsemon gave him with delight. That wraps up the second chapter of Digimon Seekers. How do you like the story? Tell me in the comments below. If you want to support me, you can do so on Patreon or buy me coffee. The links are in the description below. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more Digimon videos. P.S. Make sure to follow my community page on YouTube, as I also post updates about upcoming videos there.